The little girl looked up at the tall man with wide, curious eyes and asked the question that made the world stop breathing. "Are you my daddy?" The park went quiet. The birds froze in the air. The man's face drained of all color. His knees almost gave way as he stared at the child. Her eyes, her nose, the small dimple on her left cheek. His own face was looking back at him, but on a 4-year-old girl with brown skin and tiny hands clutching her mother's coat. The woman screamed his name. "Stay away from her." People nearby turned to look. A cyclist slowed down. A dog stopped barking. The man dropped his briefcase, not even noticing. I didn't know," he whispered, his voice shaking. "I swear I didn't know." The woman pulled the girl into her arms, her whole body trembling. "You don't get to say her," she said through tears. "You left us. You don't get to stand here and pretend." The little girl looked confused. Her small hands wiped her tears. "Mommy, why is he crying?" The man opened his mouth to speak. And that was the moment everything broke open. Before we go any further, if this story already has your heart racing, hit subscribe and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. You'll want to stay for what comes next. 4 years earlier, none of this existed. Back then, Aisha Monroe believed in love. She believed in promises. She believed in forever. She was 26, smart, kind, and hopeful. She worked as a software tester at a fast-growing tech company in Chicago. That was where she met Kang Min-jae. Min-jae was different from everyone else. He was calm, quiet, focused. A Korean executive sent from Seoul to help grow the company's U.S. branch. He dressed neatly. He spoke softly. And when he smiled, it felt like he saw straight into your heart. At first, Aisha didn't think he even noticed her. But he did. He noticed how she stayed late to fix bugs no one else wanted to touch. He noticed how she always brought extra food and shared with coworkers. He noticed how she laughed with her whole body. Their friendship grew slowly. Coffee breaks turned into long walks. Long walks turned into dinners. Dinners turned into love. Min-jae told her about his strict family in Korea. About pressure. About expectations. "You are free," he once told her. "With you I can breathe." Aisha believed him. They married quietly at a courthouse. No big wedding. Just love. Or so she thought. 3 years later, on their wedding anniversary, Aisha cooked Min-jae's favorite food. She lit candles. She wore the blue dress he loved. Min-jae came home late. He didn't kiss her. "I'm going to Seoul," he said instead. Her smile faded. "For how long?" "I don't know." She laughed nervously. "You're joking, right?" "I can't do this anymore," he said, staring at the floor. "I need space." Space. That word shattered her. "We can fix this," Aisha begged. "We can talk. We can try." He shook his head. "I don't feel anything," he said. "I'm leaving next week." That night he packed one suitcase. He did not hug her. He did not look back. Aisha cried until her chest hurt. 2 weeks later, she found out she was pregnant. She called him. Voicemail. She emailed him. No reply. She tried again. Silence. Her heart broke a second time. When her daughter was born, Aisha named her Amara, meaning grace. Amara saved her life. Aisha moved to Atlanta to start over. She worked from home, coding late at night while Amara slept beside her. She was tired. She was scared. But she never gave up. "Mommy, where is my daddy?" Amara would ask sometimes. Aisha would smile and say, "He lives far away, baby. But I'm enough for you." And she meant it. For years passed. Aisha grew stronger. Her freelance work became a real company. Her little apartment became a warm home. And Min-jae? Min-jae became CEO. Kang Min-jae, head of Kang Global Systems. Powerful. Rich. Famous. He dated models. He went to events. He smiled for cameras. But at night he felt empty. He told himself he made the right choice. Until the day his company partnered with a tech firm in Atlanta. Until the day he walked into a meeting room and saw Aisha. She was different now. Stronger. Confident. Calm. And she looked at him like a stranger. They spoke only about business. But Min-jae could not stop watching her. After the meeting, he followed her to the park. He didn't know why. He just did. And that was where fate waited. Amara ran ahead, laughing, chasing birds. A bike came too fast. Min-jae reacted without thinking. He grabbed the child. Saved her. And then, "Are you my daddy?" Now he stood there, shaking, staring at the child who had his eyes. Aisha's voice was sharp. "We're leaving." Minjae stepped back, tears falling. "Aisha, please." She turned away. But Amara looked over her shoulder one more time. "Mister," she said softly, "why do you look like me?" Minjae opened his mouth. And Aisha froze. Because she knew. This moment would change everything. And nothing would ever be the same again. Aisha did not sleep that night. Amara was curled beside her, breathing softly, one small hand resting on Aisha's arm like an anchor. Every time Aisha closed her eyes, she saw Minjae's face at the park. His shock, his fear, the way his eyes filled with tears when Amara spoke. "Are you my daddy?" The question replayed again and again, louder each time. Aisha gently moved Amara's hand, slipped out of bed and went to the kitchen. The clock said 3:12 a.m. The apartment was quiet, but her mind was screaming. She poured herself water but didn't drink it. For years she had carried everything alone. The fear, the pain. The nights she cried silently so her baby wouldn't wake up. And now he was back. Not because he chose to be. Not because he searched. But because life dragged him right to her door. Her phone buzzed on the counter. Unknown number. Her heart dropped. She didn't need to guess. She let it ring. Again. Then a message appeared. "Aisha, please. I need to talk to you. About her. About everything." Her hands shook. She typed slowly. "Do not contact me again." 3 dots appeared instantly. "I didn't know. I swear on my life. Please let me explain." Explain. That word made her chest burn. Explain the unanswered calls? Explain the emails she sent while throwing up every morning? Explain giving birth alone? She blocked the number. Her knees felt weak as she slid down the cabinet and sat on the floor. She pressed her fist to her mouth to stop herself from crying out loud. "I'm strong," she whispered. "I'm strong." But strength doesn't erase fear. The next morning, Amara woke up cheerful. "Mommy," she said, rubbing her eyes, "can we go back to the park today?" Aisha's heart skipped. "No, baby," she said gently. "We'll stay home today." Amara frowned. "Why?" "Just because." Amara thought for a moment, then said, "The Superman man was nice." Aisha froze. "Which man?" she asked carefully. "The fast one," Amara said. "The one with my eyes." Aisha knelt in front of her daughter. "Sweetheart, did he say anything else to you?" Amara shook her head. "He looked sad." That hurt more than Aisha expected. Later that day, Aisha went to work. She tried to focus on meetings, emails, numbers, but everything blurred. Her assistant, Brielle, knocked on her office door. "Ms. Monroe," she said softly. "There's a visitor." Aisha's stomach dropped. "Who?" Brielle hesitated. "A Korean man. He says his name is Kang Min-jae." Aisha stood so fast her chair slid back. "I told security not to let him in," Brielle added quickly. "But he said he'd wait. All day if he had to." Aisha closed her eyes. This was happening too fast. "Tell him I'm busy," Aisha said. "I already did," Brielle replied. "He said he understands. And he's not leaving." Aisha looked out the window. Her hands clenched into fists. If she ignored him, he might keep showing up. If she faced him, everything could fall apart. "Send him in," Aisha said finally. Brielle's eyes widened. "Are you sure?" "Yes." Moments later, Min-jae walked in. He looked different in daylight. Less powerful. Less perfect. Tired. His expensive suit couldn't hide the dark circles under his eyes. He stopped a few steps away from her desk. "Aisha," he said quietly. She didn't answer. "I won't sit," he added quickly. "I'll say what I need to say and go." She folded her arms. "You have 5 minutes." He swallowed. "I didn't know about Amara," he said. "I never got your messages. I changed my email when I moved to Seoul. I cut myself off from everything from Chicago." "That was your choice," Aisha said coldly. "I know," he said. "And I live with that every day." She laughed bitterly. "You live with success. With money. With praise." "I live with regret," he said, voice breaking. "I left because I was afraid. Afraid of failing you. Afraid of becoming my father." "That doesn't excuse abandoning us," she snapped. "I didn't know there was an U.S., he said. "If I had known." "Stop," she said sharply. "You don't get to rewrite history." Silence filled the room. I saw her, he whispered. She's incredible. Aisha's eyes burned. Do not talk about my daughter. Our daughter, he corrected gently. She slammed her hand on the desk. Don't say that. He flinched. I'm not asking to take her, he said quickly. I want to know her. Aisha shook her head. You don't get to walk into her life when it's convenient. I'll do anything, he said. Anything you want. She stared at him. You already did what you wanted, she said. You left. His phone buzzed. He glanced down, then back up at her, face pale. I have to tell you something, he said. What? She asked sharply. There's a reporter downstairs, he said. Someone recognized me at the park yesterday. They've been asking questions. Aisha's blood turned cold. What kind of questions? She whispered. He hesitated. About the child, he said. About whether I have a family in Atlanta. Aisha felt the room spin. No, she breathed. No, no, no. Minjae stepped closer. I won't say anything. I promise. But if this gets out. She held up her hand. You need to leave. Now. He nodded slowly. As he reached the door, he turned back one last time. She deserves to know who I am, he said softly. Aisha's voice shook. And I deserve to protect her. He left. Aisha sank into her chair. Outside, cameras flashed. And somewhere in the city, a story was waking up. One that could destroy everything she built. The news broke the next morning. Aisha didn't even see it herself. Her phone started ringing before sunrise. One call after another. Numbers she didn't recognize. Messages piling up so fast her screen froze. She sat up in bed, heart pounding. Amara was still asleep, her small chest rising and falling, peaceful and unaware. Aisha slipped out of bed and went to the living room before answering one call. Hello? Her voice was tight. Aisha, it's Brielle, her assistant said, breathing fast. Have you seen the news? Aisha closed her eyes. No. Tell me. There was a pause. Then Brielle spoke carefully. There's an article online. A blog first, but bigger sites are already picking it up. Aisha's stomach dropped. About what? About Kang Min-jae, Brielle said. And a mystery child spotted with him in Atlanta. Aisha slid down onto the couch. What exactly does it say? She whispered. They don't name you, Brielle said quickly. Not yet. But there are photos from the park. Blurry ones but clear enough to see a little girl. People are asking questions. Aisha's hands began to shake. Is his PR team responding? She asked. Yes, Brielle said. They released a statement saying the child is not confirmed and asking for privacy. Privacy. Aisha laughed softly, but there was no humor in it. When has privacy ever mattered to people like him? She said. After the call ended, Aisha opened her laptop with trembling fingers. There it was. A headline in bold letters. Korean CO spotted with secret child in Atlanta. Who is the mother? Her chest felt tight as she scrolled. Speculation. Photos. Comments. Some kind. Some cruel. Some hateful. She's probably trying to trap him. Why hide a child? Another scandal. Aisha slammed the laptop shut. No, she whispered. Not my baby. She rushed back to the bedroom. Amara was awake now, sitting up, rubbing her eyes. Mommy, she said. You look sad. Aisha forced a smile and sat beside her. I'm okay, baby. Amara studied her face the way only children do. Is it because of the park man? Aisha's breath caught. Why do you ask that? She said carefully. Because you were shaking yesterday, Amara said. And he was shaking too. Aisha pulled her into a hug, holding her tight. Listen to me, she said softly. No matter what happens, I will always protect you. Amara nodded. I know. That promise was tested sooner than Aisha expected. By noon, a black SUV pulled up outside her townhouse. Aisha saw it through the window and felt her heart sink. Min-jae. He stepped out slowly, not dressed like a CEO this time. No suit. Just jeans and a plain shirt. He looked human. Aisha locked the door. Her phone buzzed instantly. Please. I just want to talk. This is getting out of control. She didn't reply. Another message came. Reporters are everywhere. I can stop this, but we need to be on the same page. Same page. As if they were a team. A knock came at the door. Aisha stood still. Aisha, Min-jae called softly. I know you're in there. Amara peeked from the hallway. Mommy, who is it? No one, Aisha said quickly. Go to your room, sweetheart. But, please, Aisha said, her voice breaking just a little. Amara nodded and disappeared down the hall. Aisha opened the door just enough to speak. You need to leave, she said. I will, Minjay said. After I tell you this. She waited, arms crossed. My lawyers are worried, he said. They think if this comes out wrong it could hurt my company. Investors. The board. Aisha laughed sharply. So now this is about your company? It's about her too, he said quietly. If the media gets her name, her face. They won't, Aisha snapped. I won't let them. Minjay lowered his voice. Then let me help. She stared at him. Help how? He hesitated. There's one way to make this stop, he said. Her heart began to race. What way? We announced that the child is mine, he said. And that I'm taking responsibility. Aisha's eyes widened. No, she said immediately. Absolutely not. It would protect her, he insisted. People would back off. And what happens then, she asked. You show up once, smile for cameras and disappear again? I won't disappear, he said firmly. You already did, she replied. Silence stretched between them. I'll take this to court if I have to, Minjay said quietly. The words hit her like a slap. Court, she repeated. I don't want to, he said quickly. But I won't lose her without a fight. Aisha felt something inside her crack. You don't get to fight for her now, she said through tears. You forfeited that right 4 years ago. Amara suddenly appeared behind her. I don't want to go to court, Amara said softly. Both adults froze. Aisha turned. Baby, I told you to stay in your room. Amara walked closer, her small face serious. Why is everyone yelling? Minjay knelt slowly. I'm sorry, he said gently. This is my fault. Amara looked at him for a long moment. Are you really my daddy? She asked again. Aisha's heart pounded so loud she could barely hear. Minjay swallowed hard. Yes, he said. I am. Aisha gasped. Minjay. And I'm not going anywhere, he continued softly, looking at Amara. I promise. Amara looked between them. Then she said something that made Aisha's blood run cold. Then why are the people outside taking pictures of our house? Aisha turned toward the window and saw the cameras. Dozens of them. Flashing. Waiting. The cameras did not leave. They stayed all day. And all night. Aisha closed the curtains, locked every door and turned off the lights, but it didn't matter. The flashing still slipped through the cracks. Shadows moved outside like ghosts. Amara sat on the couch hugging her teddy bear. Mommy, she whispered, are they bad people? Aisha swallowed hard and sat beside her. No, baby. They're just noisy people. I don't like them, Amara said. I know, Aisha replied, kissing her forehead. I don't either. Her phone buzzed again. Minjay. She ignored it. Then another message came, this time from Brielle. Reporters found your address. Someone must have leaked it. I'm so sorry. Aisha's hands clenched. Leaked. She knew what that meant. Powerful people talked. Money talked. Secrets were traded like toys. Her doorbell rang. Aisha froze. Mommy? Amara said, scared now. Aisha stood slowly and looked through the peephole. 2 police officers. Relief and fear crashed together. She opened the door carefully. Ms. Monroe? One officer asked. We're here because of a disturbance report. Disturbance? Aisha repeated. The officer glanced toward the cameras outside. Neighbors are concerned. We just want to make sure everything is okay. It's not, Aisha said honestly. But it's not my fault. They nodded, understanding more than they said. We can ask the press to move back, the second officer said. But we can't make them leave. Aisha nodded. After the officers left, the house felt smaller, tighter. That night, Amara cried herself to sleep. I wanted to be quiet again, she whispered. Aisha held her and rocked her gently. I promise, Aisha said softly, even though she wasn't sure it was true. This won't last forever. But she knew something had to change. The next morning, Aisha woke up to another headline. This one was worse. Kang Minjay confirms paternity, legal battle expected. Aisha's breath caught. Confirmed? She opened the article with shaking fingers. Minjay's name was everywhere. A quote stood out. I recently discovered I have a daughter. I intend to take full responsibility and protect her privacy. Aisha stared at the screen in disbelief. He had spoken. Without her. Her phone rang immediately. It was Minjay. This time she answered. What did you do? She demanded. I had to, he said quickly. The rumors were getting ugly. This was the only way to stop them. You used my child to protect your image, she said, her voice shaking with anger. No, he said. I used my name to protect her. You don't get to decide that. Aisha shouted. I'm her father, he said. You are a stranger, Aisha replied coldly. There was a pause. Then Min-jae said something that made her heart stop. My lawyers filed paperwork this morning, he said. I'm requesting shared custody. Aisha's legs went weak. You did what? She whispered. I don't want to fight you, he said. But I won't walk away again. You already destroyed her peace, Aisha cried. Now you want to take her from me? I want to be in her life, he said. She deserves that. Aisha ended the call. She sank to the floor. Court, judges, lawyers, strangers deciding her child's future. That evening her sister Keisha arrived from out of town, furious. This man has lost his mind, Keisha said. We'll fight him. Aisha nodded, but fear sat heavy in her chest. That night, as she tucked Amara into bed, Amara looked up at her with sleepy eyes. Mommy, she said, will I have to go live with him? Aisha's heart shattered. No, she said quickly, forcing a smile. You're staying right here with me. But when Amara finally slept, Aisha sat alone in the dark. Her phone buzzed again. A message from an unknown number. Ms. Monroe, this is Attorney Park. We represent Mr. Kong. We'd like to discuss a private settlement before court. Aisha stared at the message. Settle. Give up. Compromise. She looked down the hallway toward Amara's room. Then she typed a response. There will be no private settlement. I'll see you in court. She sent it. And in that moment, Aisha knew the real battle had just begun. The courtroom was cold and silent. Aisha held Amara's hand so tight she was afraid she might hurt her. Amara wore a small yellow dress and shiny shoes. She swung her legs gently, not fully understanding why everyone was so serious. Mommy, she whispered, why are we here again? Aisha knelt down and looked into her eyes. So the grown-ups can talk and make sure you're safe. Amara nodded. I like being safe with you. Those words gave Aisha strength. Across the room, Kang Min-jae stood in a dark suit. He looked calm on the outside, but his eyes kept drifting toward Amara. Every time she laughed softly or leaned into her mother, his chest tightened. This was real now. No cameras. No headlines. Just truth. The judge entered and everyone stood. The case began. Min-jae's lawyer spoke first. He talked about responsibility, money, stability, and opportunity. He said Min-jae could give Amara a powerful future. Private schools. Travel. Connections. Aisha listened quietly, her jaw tight. Then it was her turn. Her lawyer stood and said, this case is not about money. It's about presence. Aisha was asked to speak. She stood slowly, her hands shaking, but her voice was steady. I raised my daughter alone, she said. Not because I wanted to, but because I had no choice. I called. I emailed. I begged. I was ignored. Min-jae looked down. I worked nights, Aisha continued. I held her when she was sick. I taught her to walk, to read, to pray. I was there for every tear and every smile. She paused and looked at the judge. This man did not know my daughter's name for 4 years. Not because I hid her, but because he chose to disappear. The room was silent. Then the judge looked at Min-jae. Mr. Kong, she said, do you wish to speak? Min-jae stood. Yes, he said quietly. I failed. I won't deny that. I was afraid, selfish, and wrong. I didn't know about Amara, but I should have tried harder to stay reachable. That was my mistake. He looked at Aisha. I don't want to take her away from her mother. I only want a chance to know my child. The judge nodded slowly. After a long break, the ruling came. Full custody would remain with Aisha. Min-jae would be allowed supervised visits, slowly, carefully, with Amara's comfort first. No cameras. No press. No forcing. The judge looked at Min-jae firmly. Being a parent is not a title. It is action. You will earn your place. Tears filled Aisha's eyes, not from sadness but relief. Outside the courthouse, the cameras waited. Aisha ignored them. Min-jae stepped closer but kept his distance. Thank you, he said softly, for not running. Aisha looked at him. This isn't forgiveness, she said. It's a chance. Don't waste it. He nodded. I won't. Weeks passed. Slowly, carefully, Minjae began visiting Amara at a family center. He read her books, drew pictures, learned her favorite snacks. One day, Amara looked up at him and said, "You're not scary anymore." He smiled through tears. Aisha watched from a distance. She didn't forget the past, but she didn't let it poison the future. One evening, as Aisha tucked Amara into bed, Amara smiled sleepily. "Mommy," she said, "I have a mommy who never left, and a daddy who's learning." Aisha kissed her forehead. "Yes, baby," she whispered. "And that's enough." For the first time in a long time, peace filled the room. Subscribe to this channel to support our growth, Red Heart.